Cold War powers like that, I'm afraid elimination is the only prospect facing you. So a massive hand that has changed the face of this poker game. Make sure you come back after the break and join us again. Still 4 players, still uncertain about the destiny of our £50,000. There's our leaderboard, and it has been a yo-yo performance from every single player. They've all been on top, they've all been at the bottom. You've played in a few tournaments and a lot of cash games, I know. What's the tension like at this sort of stage of the game where fortunes can be broken in a moment?
Well, I think it's, you know, it's just keeping your discipline and not making any rash decisions. Try and concentrate. Look at what all the players did earlier in the game, and just don't lose your way. Just keep very, very focused on what you're doing.
So this is all about mental discipline now.
Yeah.
Well, Dave has played this hand pretty strong so far. He may feel it's time to bait the hook a little with perhaps a smaller bet, but it looks like a deepish reach.
I think it'll be at least 4,000, at least.
Close enough, Tony. That's £4,500. Lawrence Fry, he normally works in dollars, but he knows that's too much.
4,500 total.
Ian Woodley, who hasn't really seen a card since, well, Moses was in shorts. Well, he's out of it. Alexander. He's got the garbage.
The last hand at this level, the no blinds are 1,000, 2,000.
The money goes towards Coldclough, but he's going to need it because Mad Marty Wilson has just announced that the blinds have gone up to £1,000, £2,000, and Coldclough is straight into that big blind, £2,000. You talked about keeping your discipline, but surely now it's turning into a situation where people have to take a risk.
Yeah, but they're all so evenly matched on the cash. It's very, very difficult. Who's going to be brave enough to take the initiative? And I think you're going to have to find hands in this group of 4 that are left.
New level?
Yeah.
Yeah. All that respect that Lawrence built up earlier. When you get to a situation like this, if someone's got half a hand, they're going to call him anyway.
Pass.
Nada for Woodley. And even less for Alexander. That is the worst possible hand you can be dealt in Texas Hold'em. 7-2 offsuit. 169th out of the 169 possible starting hands.
Nice.
Given it's the respect it deserves.
I think it's so difficult for Alex because Dave is just staring him down every time he needs to make a decision.
Yeah. We talked about Dave's poker face being rather animated when you expect poker faces to be very static. But he's our chip leader precisely because he's chosen a sort of different method of camouflage. His face moves so much and has so much expression. It's another way of confusing the opposition.
Well, he just looks so eager to play every pot as if he's sitting there with a good hand. He's looking at you, even if he's sitting there with a 7 deuce offsuit, he's looking at you to see what your reaction and what you're going to do to make you feel that, oh yeah, I could be calling you, I've got a decent hand.
Yeah, well, Alex has got a tempter. He's got the Jack 10 offsuit. It's very playable four-handed.
Raise.
Especially on the button.
Total.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he knows that if Dave doesn't call him, Lawrence probably ain't going to. And not with 7-4, even though he won with it earlier on.
We've not seen too much of Lawrence and Ian Woodley last 15-20 minutes. Alex and Dave seem to be involved in most of the hands.
Yes. Well, there it is. He's won the blinds and he's back on top. Alexander Arutchinov £17,600, and I'm beginning to fear now for Lawrence Fry. He's below 10,000. Ian Woodley on 10,000 exactly. They need to make a move, and they need to do it fast.
It's how bad the food is here, they eat then.
Pass.
The computer hand for Coldclough, Queen 7.
I hope I see 2 jacks.
Raised 5,000 total.
I think Lawrence, he's picked up ace 9
Raise
all in.
all in.
Not even consider
Jack.
anything else.
That's a nice bet. Ace 9, obviously not invincible, but he is ahead of Coldclough, who's still in the hand. Woodley has the Doyle Brunson 10-2.
3,400 total. Pass.
So cool because the great Texan won 2 World Series holding a 10 and a 2. I'm not sure how many World Series were won with a Queen and a 7.
Well, Dave will be doing what any top player does, just calculating pot odds.
44 more.
44, that's what he's looking at.
44 to win 16 and change. And he'd still have around, well,
Just over 9,000, I think.
yeah,
He called this, so he's tempted, even though he knows he's behind. 3 to 1 your money. It's not a nice hand.
no. And Lawrence Fry, of course, has yet to lose a hand.
It was 10.
Lawrence doesn't
What's
want
that?
Dave to call. He doesn't want him to.
10,000 was here, yeah?
Sorry.
How much is
10,000.
total?
There it
balance?
is.
And total 12,000 there.
14,000.
Coldclough
12.
has thrown it away,
Should almost call
and
it
Lawrence
anyway.
Fry, I said he needed to make a move, he just did, and he's up to
A
16,400.
little bit more in front of me, I would have called.
And a card game which is proving extremely tough, and tough to call too. 4 players left in, and the money fairly evenly divided. Woodley and Coldclough, well, they've been at the bottom before and they've got back to the top, so there's no writing them off.
All in.
Oh dear.
Well, the trouble with that bet is it isn't really enough to frighten anyone who's got anything. 6,000. People have been betting more than that to see a flop.
And Alex has picked up a pair of 10s. Calling immediately. I don't even know what he's considering.
So how much is it, please?
Well, he's waiting for Ian Woodley, I think,
Ah.
to cast away his Queen 6 offsuit.
Yeah, yeah, 6.
Now, Ian made a move
6,000.
with some clubs to 4. The good thing here is he knows he's not going to bluff anyone out of the pot because Coldclough is all in. And it's a flat call. Well, of course it's a flat call. He's got Dave out cashed.
Dave has 10-7 of clubs. Alex has a pair of red 10s. Alex is leading.
Well,
Bad news is there as well that 2 clubs have gone for Dave.
yeah, his 10 is covered. Really only the 7s to help him. An 8 and a 9, well, that would put the cat among the pigeons. But Dave needs 7 to be as lucky as its reputation right now.
Flop is 4.
And I'm
5,
afraid
Jack.
it isn't.
Now help to David.
Awful flop for Dave. He's down to 2 runners.
It's a 3.
Well,
David needs a 6 for a straight.
yeah.
Well, I've seen it happen on a number of occasions.
Only a 6. 4 outs. Has to be a 6.
It's a deuce.
And it
Lose
isn't
Dave
a
Coldclough.
6.
Nice playing with you.
And the man we
Good
both
luck.
tipped to win this little contest is the 3rd man to leave the poker den. Here's how it all panned out. Dave Coldclough made a move with the 7, 10 of clubs,